Hey everyone, so today we're going to try using the Open WebUI and connecting it with RAG, which is called Retrieval Augmented Generation. And this is a feature in most of the modern AI frameworks, but it's nice to see how you can do it locally or connect it with any feature you want. And I'm going to do that in Open WebUI. And you can check out my playlist, which will give you more details on how to set this up locally. So first of all, in order to do anything with RAG, we need to make sure we have a workspace and we have a knowledge base. Now here I wanted to just test something with exoplanets, but that did not go well. But before we go into that, we also want to just talk about documents. So if you go into settings and you go into documents, what you see is the embedding model engine. Now in simple words, computers don't understand words, so they understand numbers. And embedding model takes a word or a sentence and turns it into a long list of numbers. We can call it vector. Now based on, like, let's say I love cats and cats are my favorite, they will convert into something very close to each other compared to stock market is down. So stock market is down and I love cats will have a very far away number or something like that. I am not going to go into detail of how it works. If you want to learn more, you can check out these videos. I put the link in the description. They can explain much better than whatever I can do. Now you can use the default sentence transformers or you can use different one, but let's start doing with sentence transformers right now. Just save this and go back to our workspace. Look at the knowledge base. Okay, so you can see I've got my Open WebUI running here and the Olama running there. I just wrote a script to just give me logs on a text file so that I can just keep looking at it and I can see if there's any errors here. So let's say I want to download something. Go back here, it's to new knowledge. This is about Indian recipes. This is the thing which I was going to do. Let me just download some recipes, knowing that I like Indian food. Nice. Okay, so I have it ready. Indian recipes is containing Indian whatever. We acknowledge. Let me add this. Let's see how long this takes. Hopefully it should not take that, but it's 10 times less than the other one. We'll find out. So you can see here it is trying to convert it to vectors. All right, it's finally complete, 100%. So let's look at it. Doesn't look like there's any error. So let's time to chat. So first I want to try with a local model to see how it looks like. Let's use llama. Okay, Indian recipes. Nice. Let me try with chickpeas. Okay, so here it's going. It certainly took a long time. Awesome. This is one. Let's now use the same question and change the model to something with Gemini Flash. And I'm going to try the same thing again. I'm going to cook chickpeas. Let's see how good Gemini does it. First of all, it should retrieve a source. If it doesn't retrieve a source, then it's a problem. Okay, it does retrieve one source. Wow, so much faster. Kind of shows how old Llama 3 is now. Yeah, that's kind of one way to do it. And as I was explaining earlier, you can change this to use a different one. The sentence transformer have a limit of 512 tokens, which is roughly around 300 to 400 words, but Google can handle up to like 8,000 tokens. I don't know how they do it, but it's always good. Now, I wanted to talk about some of the errors which I have faced while doing this. First of all, if you see one of these when you're trying to ask a question and you see in this chat and you see no sources found, that's probably because the knowledge base was needs to be reindexed. So how do you do that? You go to documents again, the settings in the documents, and you can do either reindex knowledge base vectors or reset the vector storage. Now, reindexing means you're just reindexing it. Reset means you will lose all the data which you had. So you'll have to just upload the knowledge base again. And then there are some errors which you won't see while running chat. You might see them in the Open WebUI log. What does that mean? If you go to the logs for Open WebUI in the Docker container, you will see a bunch of errors like these. So I saw two errors here. So let's talk about the first one. So I'm getting failures while I'm trying to use this embedding. One of the reasons is text embedding 004. Many docs out there will tell you that text embedding 004 is the right one to use for Gemini API. But so as of January 14, 2026, Gemini has retired text embedding 004. They're using Gemini embedding 001. So now I'm going to use this. So with that, the error goes away about embedding model, but now we have a different error. So you can see I'm getting these server disconnected errors. That's because the Gemini API free tier has a very low limit for embedding requests. It's around like 100 RPM. And because it's trying to do a rapid burst, it fails. And I also tried increasing the chunk size to make sure that it can do less of those bursts, but that did not help. So if you go to Google Studio and go to dashboards and go to usage and billing, here you go. This is my usage request. Let's do last hour. There you go. So the peak request per minute is more than 100. So that's not acceptable when I'm on the free tier. Okay, so the error is still coming and you can see the rate limit is crossing the peak request per minute. Now I can fix this by adding a bill or something, or maybe not because I'm very frugal. So I guess if someone wants to use the Gemini API, they can try using it there. But the main point is that you have multiple tools in your in these to use it. You can use the sentence transformers, you can use the OpenAI one with Google Gemini, or there are other options as well. But the point is that it will be allowing you to get the answers correctly. I think I'll stop the video here. It's a failure, but it's because I don't want to spend money. But hopefully you learned something. Thank you.